What's up, YouTube? And I don't know if it's just me. It might just be me, but do you guys see a little emblem down there? What the hell does that say? What does that say? SHR, that means you're watching Sir Hunt's Reviews. I'm Mark, and this is going to be our countdown to Season 6 Game of Thrones, Episode 5. Characters, where are they now? So I'm just going to go ahead and throw this out there. If you guys already haven't done so, make sure you click like, subscribe, share this video with your peoples. If you guys like what I do here at Sir Hunt's Reviews, make sure you take some time and go visit my Patreon channel. You can donate any amount of money, and you can receive lots and lots of prizes, and shoutouts and videos, and songs. Personalized songs. So now that we got that out of the way, our first character is going to be Tyrion. I'm about to talk about where we last saw him in A Dance of Dragons, and then where we last saw him in Season 5 Game of Thrones. So to kind of summarize the events of Tyrion in A Dance of Dragons, he basically finds himself at the mercy of the Magister Illyrio Mopatis, who convinces Tyrion that he should go and find Aerys' daughter, Daenerys, and he's like, alright, I'm down, bro, say no more. I'm going to go find her. When he does, he's got two traveling companions who he ends up figuring out that they aren't who they seem to be. One of them is Jon Connington, a former disgraced Hand of the King. The other one is Aegon V Targaryen, claiming to be the infant son of Aerys the Mad King, who was spirited away by Varys at the tender baby age. Whilst Tyrion is traveling with Aegon V, supposedly, and Jon Connington, he actually ends up visiting a brothel in Volantis, where he is then spotted by Jorah Mormont, who ironically has a fake Dany sitting in his lap. She's the prostitute from the show. She's actually sitting in his lap in the books, as opposed to sitting in another person's lap, and then he spots him. But anyway, Jorah figures, hey, if I can bring Dany a Lannister, I'll get back in good with her. While they're making their way there, they end up getting captured by a slave trading company. That slave trading company ends up suffering from a plague, and during that, Tyrion engineers a plan to basically for him and Jorah to escape by getting into a mercenary company, and in order to do so, he says, yo, I will give you all the riches of Casterly Rock. I promise. Next up, we have my personal favorite character, Daenerys Stormborn. So in A Dance of Dragons, Dany basically struggles to keep control and keep her the cities that she already conquered are basically in chaos because she left them. She's struggling to keep control inside Meereen, and the Yunkai, one of the other cities that she had previously dominated, is now gathering forces and about to besiege Meereen. So she's got a lot of shit on her plate. Not to mention Drogon, his dumbass, kills a child, so she decides to lock up her dragons. She does end up being able to chain Rhaegal and Viserion, but Drogon, of course, he escapes. Later, we'll thank him a lot for doing so. Dany's advisors do advise her to marry his Zorak, and in doing so, she does it because he's able to kind of negotiate a peace in Meereen. So she's like, alright, I'll marry you. But she still takes the boy Dario Naharis on as sort of lover. Getting it in on the side, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so anyway, at her wedding, there's a whole bunch of noise and fighting and blood. So Drogon, he's kind of attracted to that. He ends up flying over there. He immediately gets attacked. Dany runs out and tries to control her dragon, failing miserably. She does eventually end up flying off with him. She later ends up eating some berries, starts hallucinating. She becomes ill, and she's found by Khal Drogo, who betrayed Khal Drogo. A little bit of a side note, she doesn't just hallucinate from the berries, she actually gets her period at the same time, then she gets diarrhea and she's thrown up. It is fucking intense. I'm glad they didn't show that part on the show. Okay, so Dany in the show, starts off with her being in Meereen. She's having basically the same problems. You know, Drogon does end up killing. It's actually a daughter instead of a boy. Blah blah blah. She does decide to marry his Zorak, but it's not at her wedding where they're fighting. She's just sitting in the pits of Daznak watching a fight. She ends up getting surrounded, sends a harpies attack her. Drogon flies in. She flies away with Drogon. Drogon passes out, and she's found by a Khalasar. So very similar, but just key points. Honestly, they make her story from the books more interesting. They take out of the show simply for budget and time-wise. Next character is going to be Jaime Lannister, and where he's at in the Dance with Dragons. So basically, Jaime ends up arriving at Raventree Hall, which is the last holdout of Robb Stark's bannermen. He ends up finding out that the place is being under siege by Lord Janos, and he decides that, hey, this siege is kind of pretty dismal. Like, I don't really see it getting anywhere. Let me figure out what the fuck's going on. Janos Bracken ends up filling him in, and Jaime basically comes to the conclusion that it's just an age-old feud between Blackwood James and Janos Bracken. So then he decides, yo, give me some of your peoples, Blackwood, give me some of your peoples, Bracken. I'm going to take them as hostages to King's Landing, and we're going to squash this shit. Squash this shit. Bend the knee to King Tommen. I'm going to move about my happy ass way. Jaime ends up taking his men and making their way back to Riverrun, and in doing so, they decide to hold up camp at Pennytree. The people of Pennytree are still kind of weary of travelers and Kingsmen, so they're like, yo, Jaime, you are welcome here. He doesn't follow the advice of Sir Konos, who basically tells him, yo, just storm in that shit. Fuck them. We take what we want. And while he's at Pennytree, he ends up setting up camp, and he gets a visit from Brienne of Tarth, who tells him, yo, I found Sansa, come with me, don't take any of your men with me, because if you do so, the Hound will kill her. Now, we all know that that's a setup, and she wants him to go face Lady Stoneheart. Jaime in the books is basically set to follow this same path in the show of Season 6. Basically, he's going to be making his way to Riverrun. He'll start off at the beginning of the season. Why am I telling you guys about him in Season 6? Season 5. So basically, what happens to him is that he ends up going away to Dorne, which is actually in the books is Sir Aerys Oakheart. So he's given another character's story, basically. So he ends up going to Dorne to go free his daughter. Fails miserably, gets locked up in prison. Then everything kind of gets set right. And on the way back, they're saying goodbye to everybody. And then Sand Snake bitch gives her a kiss, poisons her, kills her. You see Jaime basically telling Myrcella, yo, I'm your father. And she's like, I knew all along. They have a touching moment. Blood drips from her nose. She dies. Jaime looks fucking stunned. Alright, so this has been Sir Hunt's Reviews. I'm Mark, and that's going to be wrapping this video up. I want to invite you guys to, again, if you like what I do here at Sir Hunt's Reviews, I want you to go check out my Patreon channel. The link is down in the description. You can win lots and lots of prizes. If you haven't already done so, make sure you click like, subscribe, share this video with your friends. Super quick news here. I had a comment on one of my videos earlier saying, is the book set giveaway still going on? And I was like, yo, let me clear up some shit. I'm giving away one book. This one, United 7 Kingdoms, and all you have to do to enter is click like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. My buddy Raise the Alba, he's giving away all 5 books. He's a big baller. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, speaking of that, Brotherhood Without Manners, first episode will be up on my channel tomorrow. I haven't quite figured out what time yet, but it'll be up before midnight. A bit more news, my Patreon, the notifications were off, so I had to check the website, and I found out that I have 3 Patreons, which is amazing. Thank you guys so fucking much. That's awesome. This has been Sir Hunt's Reviews. Peace. Kitty was begging me to end his sabbatical early, so I did.